Hey, what's up, guys? Today is Christmas morning. I know we're in May here there, but I'll just say it. Merry Christmas from last year. You know my situation. I just had a very deep core work session with God, with my counselor. And I think there's been a lot of healing. Let me kind of walk you through, and maybe you can experience this. Let me ask you first. Have you always felt rejected, unseen, despised, not enough, disrespected, misunderstood? Like, only if they knew my heart, they would like me, right? You know that doesn't work in reality. I'm going to talk to you as if you're me, something that would resonate with me. And I think there's a lot of us out there, but you ever felt like you know there's something special about you, but society, the world, your relationships, people, your dad, maybe your mom, your family, your friends, your sports teams that reject you, maybe they came along and stole your thunder, stole your joy, stole your pureness, so to speak, your genuineness. They popped your bubble. And all along, there's a glimmer deep down, maybe within, that you thought you were special, and maybe you never did. Maybe you just never knew your worth, or maybe never knew yourself as a child. But you still believe that there's something there, that, or at least you're hopeful. You want to be somebody special. You want to be loved. Anyways, if it was me talking to me, deep down you felt hidden, but you knew that I think I'm loved, I think I'm worthy of love, and I want this. But somewhere along the way, you started, instead of projecting that out, your genuineness of who you are as a kid up until adult, you kind of ended up flipping the mirror around. Instead of you pushing out and projecting out who you are, showing the world, you started looking for their feedback to tell you who you were, to tell you you're worthy. And then you try to control the situation, control them, try harder to get their love, to tell you who you were. Instead of you telling them your worth and showing your worth, you almost started manipulating the situation, trying to please them, and then walking around eggshells, tiptoeing. And every time you got rejected by them, you took that as feedback that you're not worthy, every single time, till it just continued to stab you. Like, you couldn't separate one rejection from the other 100. It's like you felt them all at once. Like you get a knife stab, but it felt like a bazooka to your chest. Similar to what I just went through. As I said, Jen represented every girl that's ever rejected me, and especially when they're hot and you're attracted to them and you want them and you just want to love little them inside. You want to love who they are. If they only knew how much I love them, that type of thing. You can see their pain, because you felt that pain in other ways, and you want to love so hard, but you can't get through. And then that triggers your anxiety and well, I guess I'm not enough. I guess this is just another beautiful woman that gave me 3 months and then rejected me. And I had the epiphany today that and I was actually listening to some videos from psychologists and stuff, and they're like, this is not about this breakup. This is core work. This is about how you've always felt. This is about your inner child. And that's why it triggered me so bad. And I just got done bawling my eyes out, like sobbing, but healing. Feeling the pain I feel now, but separating it from, you're always this way, you're not worthy. And realizing, I talked to little Jer, and I was like, little Jer, man, you're such a little stud, and you love so much, and you're so sensitive, but deep down your heart is so pure. And then somewhere along the way, you got wounded. You found out that life is cruel. People are mean. And they don't respond to you the way. They don't understand you. They don't try to get to know you. They just attack you or just discard you. But bud, you don't deserve that. Now, once you learn that, you have a wound. Now, sometimes you isolate. Now you try to overplease. Now you walk on eggshells. You play it safe. You don't play offense. You're playing defense. You're people pleasing. You're choosing the unlikable force. You're choosing to run towards the person who doesn't want you or shouldn't have you. You overgive. You overextend. You stay too long. You give too much. Because you know you're special, but you need reconfirmation, reaffirmation from them, because you're still holding up the mirror to yourself to them to say, if they approve of me, then I guess I can like me, which you know deep down inside. You were made for more. You are special. And what happened as an adult, my responsibility is to help you heal, talk to you, reassure you, let you know I see you. And I know you got hurt, bud. And I know you walk with a limp now, emotionally. And it's affected every relationship, every room of your life, mentally, spiritually, probably physically, sexually, relationally, intimate-wise, probably even your job, and your choices you've made. Why you run to get women's approval in their past, and why you've isolated because you just got so over dating and trying to please this unpleasable force. Why you've lashed out, why you've got angry, why you've thought, what about me? Or I'm always gonna be rejected. And here's the thing, we're closing that loop. We're closing that cycle, that slide. Like you see Jen, I get past her, the rejection, that slide that leads all the way down to my core. We're cutting that off. No more sliding down. That's healing right now. That's what's just taking place by grieving the past, understanding what it is, labeling it, and realizing it's only one rejection. That's about timing. That's about where they're at. That's about it's not about your worth, buddy. And me as an adult, I have a responsibility to keep little Jer safe, protected, loved. And I can't do a proper job of that if I'm seeking other people's approval. I'm still doing the things that little Jer did as an adult. No, I've got to go into protection by being grounded, masculine, alpha, present, not reactive. To be that diamond oak tree. Diamond because we're special. Let it go through your body, become an oak tree, just like my therapy session, my hypnosis session a while back. And stand tall, stand strong. And we don't look at the winds of life. Winds of life are gonna come. The rejection's gonna come. The people are going to hurt us, try to manipulate us. And that's okay. We are still that oak deep down. But when I'm not being that oak and I'm being ripped around by the wind and allowing myself, asking the wind as the tree, do you like me? Am I okay here? Playing defense, not offense. Sorry for the crazy eyes right now. Just real deep in thought. This is deep. Like I said, this is core work. But you're asking the storm, the people in the storm, whatever the storm represents, usually it's people's approval, people's rejection. You're asking them to tell you who are, and you're like, you're the oak, baby. You stand firm. It doesn't matter. They come and go. They do what they want. And here's the thing. That'll give little Jer more assurance, more protection, because his dad, me, as the father figure here in this, as he heals, I heal. And then it gives me permission. I've always had the permission to be that oak, to be that diamond oak. I love saying that. Because I'm a diamond, we shine brightly, we're strong, we're deep, we're valuable. But then we have oak energy as far as groundedness. And we don't have to chase, we don't have to please, we don't have to overgive, we don't have to stay too long in something where somebody doesn't give us back the affirmation, because we are seeking their affirmation rather than showing and projecting it out, our value, our worth. And here's the beautiful thing about this. the more grounded you are and sure of yourself. And you get that from a relationship with Jesus. You get that relationship from God, your creator. That's where your identity comes from. And he gives you permission to walk that way. I've always known that. But I had to do the core work of the healing to really let that come alive. So you can know a lot of this stuff. A lot of stuff I'm saying, you guys know it, but have you done the work of talking to the little guy, the little girl inside, and the little you, the hurt one, the abandoned one? Grieved it. It might only be one time. I don't know. I don't know the whole process. And everybody's different. But have you grieved that? Felt the pain, but been able to separate that this is not a full rejection of you. It's an isolated incidence. And again, it has a lot to do with the people you were trying to please, the people you were trying to get to love you, the situations you put. You didn't know. And again, you were always looking for approval. And here's the beautiful thing. I'll say this again. I'm getting so close to saying, and then I don't say it. The less you need people's approval, and you come from a grounded, centered, confident place, especially as men, alpha, masculine, but the less you need people's approval, the more you get it. The more they can feel safe. Men, the more your woman can feel your strength. Because you're not following her around the house trying to please every little thing, doing all these acts of service, doing all these little things, flowers and gifts, just to, I'm okay, honey, right? I'm okay. The little hurt you. No, you do that because you do that out of love. You are already okay, regardless if she accepts it or not. And if she's not going to get on board and she treats you poorly, then that's another conversation where you say, well, I'm going to be the oak, you can be the wind. If you're not going to treat the oak right, I'm going to stay stable. Eventually, you can kick rocks or you can stay, but get in line or not. But that's where your firmness, setting a boundary, being stronger, like I should have been with Jen all along. I did it in part, but now I'm seeing the whole roadmap better. I'm seeing how she needed me to stay a rock and stable. Now, she has her own issues, lots of those to work through, but our core patterns of hurt and attachment and that dysregulation, they triggered each other. And if I had been fully healthy and who I am, I most likely wouldn't have chosen this. But even if I did, I could have walked away with sooner when I realized that she couldn't give me the love that I believe I deserve. And that's why sometimes we stay in it too long, because we're seeking their validation. And again, the less we need people's validation, the more we'll get it. The more they'll feel safe in your presence, the more they'll want to give to you. And then when they know you're centered and they actually trust your guidance, you can tell them things and they'll actually do it. Women will submit better to you men because you heal that inner child. You're now not reacting out of a wound. You're not looking to please them to get their approval. You're not following her around by the coat, her skirt type of thing. No, you're leading. And if she gets on board, great. If she doesn't, and you've done it through gentleness, love, and direction, then maybe she's just not capable of being submissive, and that's okay. But if you have to demand somebody submit to you, then here's the thing. You haven't been in your masculine energy, most likely. Maybe in parts, maybe inconsistent, but here's the thing. As you're an oak tree, it's about consistency. It's about standing up to her tests. It's about being okay with putting her in place in a loving, gentle, firm way. I didn't always do that with Jen. I got a little demanding. I got a little aggressive. I got, because I was hurt. Little boy came out of me and just said, what about me? Yeah, you're special, bud. You just need to heal. So now I've turned around, and me as an adult, to protect little Jer, I've got to be more grounded. I've got to be more secure. And in that, I'm also protecting the women that come into my life, and they can be more in their feminine. They can feel my masculine. They can feel my energy. They can feel my sureness around them. And then they'll feel more safe in submitting and listening when I tell them to do something, or when I disagree with them, and I can stand up to them. Again, this isn't about lording over somebody, abusive, controlling, abrasive. No, that's all weak ass behavior. Part of my French. It is. Let's call it as it is. I'm talking about masculine, firm strength, where they can fall into, submit, and even test you, punch you, push you, and you just look at them like, you done? Because I'm not going to tolerate that, but I know why you're doing it. And not that you're psychoanalyzing, but it's an internal thing of, I see what she's doing. She's scared. So she's gonna push at me. She's gonna gnaw at me. The closer I get, the more she's gonna push away to see if this is real. You know, my oldest sister married her college boyfriend. It was like, I think one of her first or second boyfriends. And she said he was so close to pushing him away before they got married, and now they have a wonderful relationship, 4 kids, you know, done tons of ministry, happy, very successful. But she told me, she goes, if my brother-in-law had not stayed so strong and kept pursuing her and basically just not let her push him away forever, he was a man about it. Yeah, it hurt him probably like hell. He has a sensitive heart, but he's good, he's strong, he's adaptable. But he stayed under the fire, under her attacks, under her punching him because the little girl inside of her was scared. Am I making the right decision? I met this guy, like I'm gonna give my whole life to him, and they're married now. He's able to stay strong enough to push back her attacks, but that's the thing, even like the closer they got to their wedding, she almost called it off. And now they have a wonderful relationship, right? Not perfect, but it works for them. All that to say is he was masculine, he was strong, but he didn't back down. He didn't abuse her either though. He didn't demand, he just led. And that's why she could eventually trust his leadership. Okay? I'll wrap this up with this. So what I see with my dog, if anybody see my dog, he's got 2 different colored eyes, and some people look at that like, oh, what's wrong with his eyes? I'm like, what's wrong with his eyes? Those are unique eyes. He's got a diamond eye, kind of, you know, that color, and then a brown eye, and a oak. And you know, it's funny, diamond, oak. It's crazy when you pick a dog and you end up realizing, wow, maybe this says a lot about me. You know, they say your dogs and owners, they start looking alike, or there's some similarities. That's subconscious, I don't know. Might be reading a little too far into that, but if you look at one, looks like the brown of an oak tree in the light, and the other one looks like a diamond almost with the light, with the blue color. He's got bi-eye, you know, they call him David Bowie eyes. And it's funny, when I look at him, he is so loyal, he is so genuine, he was so sweet. He got injured at the dog park a few years ago when he was young, in his formative years. And now, sometimes he's a little jerk. Sometimes he lashes out at other people. Rawr, get away from me. And I was like, that's little Jer. The one that now couldn't win people's approval, so he isolates, reaches for self-soothing in unhealthy ways. Guys, you know what I'm talking about. Porn, masturbation, or masturbation without porn, either one. Or other people reach for other substances or whatever it may be, but it's because they're hurting. It's because they were hurt, and it's a mask. They're masking their pain. They're looking for a stimulant to overcome, to get through that. I mean, how often have we masturbated, guys, because we got rejected, we feel bad, so we're tired of doing the dating scene and going out rejected, so we just stay in and jack off to porn. Most every guy's done it. It's not right. Self-admitted, done it too. I don't like to do it. I don't want to do that. That's not who I want to be, but that's me reacting out of my wound instead of staying on the offense of masculinity and realizing that rejection is not a reflection of me. It's just a reflection of the situation, but their rejection. And that says more about them. I'm gonna be okay. I don't need their approval. And it's funny because I see so many similarities between Rocket and me as a little boy. Now he lashes out and he gets, you know, get away from me type of thing to other dogs. And I'm like, yeah, that's what we start doing. That's what little Jer started doing. That's why he then over-pleased, and when he couldn't please him, then he started reclusing, becoming back into his own shell. And it was really, that's self-protection. I guess it's because you're hurting. And I think that's one of the reasons I've said in some videos before, one of the reasons I travel so much probably is just because I'm lonely. I'm looking for a high. This is also a coping. Now, it's not necessarily a bad one, but even on these trips, you know, you end up meeting a lot of girls. That feels good, but it's kind of still stays into that pattern. I'm doing the core work of, listen, I'm good wherever I am. I'm grounded, and I can protect Rocket. I can protect little me. But I see that similarity between Rocket lashing out and me and my, now as an adult, why I've done some of the things, because that's my form of lashing out, or going within and beating myself up and then just stop trying, stop putting the real me out there. And we were made to be leaders, we were made to be conquerors, we were made to be more, but it starts with that core work and not looking for you to tell me who I am. It's me telling the world who I am. by standing firm.